George thought he had done everything right. He listened to the advice you hear everywhere, including from me. Don't rush Social Security. Let it grow. So he waited. What nobody told him was that because he wasn't collecting Social Security yet, Medicare would not sign him up on its own. He assumed a card would just show up in the mail around his birthday. It never came. By the time George realized his mistake, his enrollment window had closed, and he had to wait months for the next one. Today, he pays a penalty on his Medicare that will follow him for the rest of his life. And here's the hard part. George is not unusual. Around 750,000 people are paying that exact penalty, and about 1 in 5 of them had no idea it even existed. So today, let's walk down the 5 Medicare enrollment mistakes that can quietly cost you for life, counting down to the one that caught George. These are the 2026 rules, in plain English. And number 1 is the one almost nobody sees coming. Let's start the countdown. Mistake number 5. Skipping drug coverage because you feel fine and you don't take any pills. It makes sense on the surface. Why pay for a drug plan when your medicine cabinet is empty? Here's why. Medicare charges a penalty if you go more than about 2 months without what they call creditable drug coverage after you're first eligible. And it's not a one-time fee. For every full month you went without it, they add 1% of a base premium, about $39 in 2026, onto your drug premium. Then you pay that higher amount for as long as you have a drug plan. Wait 3 years, and you've locked in a surcharge that follows you the rest of your life, and it grows as that base number rises. The mistake isn't being healthy. It's assuming healthy means you can wait. If you have good drug coverage from somewhere else, keep it. That counts. But if you don't, signing up for a cheap plan you barely use is how you avoid paying for the expensive one later. Mistake number 4. Getting ambushed by a surcharge called IRMAA. Most people expect to pay the standard Part B premium, which in 2026 is about $203 a month. But if your income is above a certain line, Medicare adds a surcharge on top. In 2026, that line is $109,000 for a single person and $218,000 for a couple. Cross it, and your premium climbs by tiers. At the very top, that $203 premium becomes almost $690 a month. Same coverage, more than 3 times the price. Now here's the part that blindsides people. Medicare looks at your income from 2 years ago. So your 2026 premium is based on your 2024 tax return. Do you see the trap? You sell a house, you do a big Roth conversion, you take one large withdrawal. That single good year can push you into the surcharge 2 years later, long after the money's gone. But there's a lever most people never pull. If your income dropped because of a life change, you retired, you lost a spouse, you sold a business, you can file one form and ask Medicare to use your real, current income instead. The mistake isn't earning money. It's paying a surcharge for years that one form could have erased. Mistake number 3, and this one is a door that quietly locks behind you. Original Medicare doesn't cover everything, so many people buy a supplement called Medigap to fill the holes. And there is exactly one perfect time to buy it. The moment you're 65 and enrolled in Part B, a 6-month window opens. During those 6 months,
An insurance company has to sell you any policy they offer. They can't charge you more, and they can't turn you down for your health history. It's the best deal you will ever get on that coverage. But when those 6 months are up, in most states, the rules flip completely. Now the insurer can look at your medical history, charge you more because of it, or simply refuse to sell you a policy at all. This is the hidden catch inside many Medicare Advantage decisions, too. If you start on an Advantage plan and years later try to switch back to original Medicare with a supplement, you may find you no longer qualify to buy one. The mistake is treating that 6-month window like it'll always be there. It won't. It opens once. Mistake number 2, trusting the wrong kind of insurance to hold your place. A lot of people work past 65 or retire with a package, and they think, I still have coverage, so I'll deal with Medicare later. Sometimes that's fine, but the details will bite you. Medicare only lets you safely delay Part B without a penalty while you have health coverage from a current active job, yours or your spouse's. When that job ends, a clock starts. You get 8 months to sign up for Part B penalty-free. Here's the part that catches careful people. COBRA and retiree coverage do not count as active job coverage. So if you retire, go on COBRA for a year, and think you're covered, you're wrong in the eyes of Medicare. That 8-month clock started the day the job ended, not the day COBRA runs out. Miss it, and you're back to that 10% a year Part B penalty for life. The mistake is assuming all insurance is equal to Medicare. Only coverage from an active job protects your deadline. The day you or your spouse stops working, that's the day the clock starts. And mistake number 1, the single most common one, assuming Medicare just happens on its own. This is George from the beginning. Here's the rule almost nobody explains clearly. You are signed up for Medicare automatically at 65 only if you're already collecting Social Security. And remember what we talked about last time. Waiting on Social Security, letting it grow, is often the smart move. But that smart move creates a trap, because if you're not collecting yet, no card comes. Nobody enrolls you. It is entirely on you to sign up. And you have to do it inside one specific window. It opens 3 months before the month you turn 65, and it closes 3 months after. 7 months total. Miss it, and you may have to wait until a general enrollment period the following year, with coverage delayed and a penalty waiting. That penalty is 10% added to your Part B premium for every year you were late, and you pay it for as long as you have Medicare. Remember George? He did the responsible thing with Social Security, and it quietly cost him because he thought Medicare would take care of itself. Social Security's own numbers show hundreds of thousands of people in the same spot. 1 in 5 of them never even knowing the penalty was there. So mark it down. 3 months before your 65th birthday, whether or not you've touched Social Security, go sign up. It is the most important date in this entire video. One more thing, a bonus, and this one is money in your pocket if it applies to you. If you're still putting money into a health savings account, an HSA, you need to stop before Medicare starts. Here's why. When you finally enroll, Part A can backdate up to 6 months. So if you keep contributing right up to the day you sign up, those last 6 months of contributions can suddenly count as a tax mistake. The fix is simple. Stop your HSA contributions 6 months before you enroll in Medicare or claim Social Security, and you're in the clear. So, there's your map. Sign up for drug coverage even if you feel fine. Watch for the income surcharge and file the appeal if your income dropped. Buy your supplement in that 6-month window. Don't trust COBRA to hold your place. And whatever else you do, don't assume Medicare is automatic. The good news? Once you're in, you get a fresh window every fall, October 15th to December 7th, to adjust your plans as your needs change. The permanent mistakes all happen at the start. Get the start right. Which of these caught you or someone you love off guard? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. And remember, this is education, not financial advice. Your situation deserves a licensed professional. Next time, the required minimum distribution mistakes that can hand the IRS thousands of dollars more than you actually owe. I'm Walt. Walk the road while you can.